Here's the clip.
Oh, you can sit down. Ooh.
Good evening and welcome back to normal surface of the Chairsofter Show. I noticed, Adam, what was going on in the intro there? I saw absolute chaos erupting on your screen.
Who, mine?
Hat on? No, Adam. Hat on, hat
I
on.
was going to try having my hat on, but it doesn't really work with a headset.
Fair enough. So, yeah, back to normal service tonight. We had a bit of a heavy episode the other night as we were calling out. Well, not heavy, but calling out bullshit. So, for more light entertainment, Dan is joining us. From a previous guest appearance, we now have a full episode with... Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has. Because, I mean, Adam and Adi knew you a long time ago through... what site was it? Ironsite?
Ironsite, yeah.
That's the one. And then obviously we've only sort of started talking recently, etc., etc. So just before we get into the nitty-gritty of the episode and go into the news section, just do a brief introduction about yourself and who you are and what you do.
All right. Well, as you know me, I'm Dan. I take photos, play Airsoft. Been doing it for about sort of 4 or 5 years now and just having fun with it, really.
Cool. Nice and short and sweet.
Yeah.
Every time we do that.
Can I give it all away straight away, Andy?
No, I'm to the point, just straight to it.
Well, we've had it before where we get some guests on and we go like, "Can you do a brief introduction of yourself?" And then like 3 hours later, it's like it's still going. And then we get nice, short, sweet, and a brief introduction. As you've done so, you have achieved the task.
It does what it says on the tin, Andy.
Yeah. Right, we'll go into the news and discussion and we'll come back onto you. So a couple of things. Adam, you can talk about this because you know more about it.
It's I can't find the link again now. Hold on.
I've got it. I've got the link so I can have that on the screen while you talk.
Yeah, so it's one of the guys that we know from Gunman Airsoft Midlands. He's done basically it is a remote det as it says on your screens, but it actually uses primers rather than like fizzy pyro like most remote det.
Those maroons that you could only find them in like one
That's
shop, and you had to then get about 10 wires and hope that it was going to work.
Yeah, so he's obviously, as you can see, he's hit his funding. So they'll be going out whenever to the backers, but then he's going to open up and start selling them after that once they've all gone, sort of thing. But I just thought it was a really neat, something a bit different to what we're used to seeing.
That was a video.
Ah.
So that is nice and short and sweet. So looking at that, then it's a 3D printed body.
Yeah.
To protect all the electrics. I'm actually kind of excited for it. Like, not gonna lie, I've got a set of the like old school style remote dets. I'd very rarely use them, to be honest with you, because like trying to find the maroons, you have to buy a huge pack of them, and it's just a ball ache to carry them around at site, especially if you've only got 4 dets. And then it's remembering where you've put them in game as well.
I just like the idea of having the primer option, because we know that they're nice and easy to get hold of.
Yeah, you can.
I could see a lot more people going for that than like you say, going for the maroons idea. So yeah, I hope he does well with it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested in seeing that develop and progress and what happens in the future with it for sure.
Yeah.
Other thoughts, Ailey, Dan?
I quite like it, to be honest. It's quite short. It's sweet. It's really simple design. Like, you can carry it. Like, the carry aspect of it's going to be great. Like, because you can put it, if you've run like the bottom pouch on your rig, or if you run like the lightweight rigs or anything, you can just stick it anywhere. Looks really good.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to sort of see how it goes. Like, hopefully it catches on at a lot more places, and I think it's overall it's going to be far cheaper in the long run for a lot of people, because obviously primers are, I don't know, pennies per.
Well, this is it. You can get. Do I get them in a pack of 50 or something like that? Can't remember. But they're like £9.
Yeah, I'm
so
having a look now.
that would be like, God, I can't do maths.
Thought I'd got a box of them here, but
Not very much.
yeah.
Give them about 6 months. There'll be a 9mm version of that on the market as well.
Yeah.
Quite popular.
There you go. If you get 50 in a pack for £9, they're 18p a piece. So.
The thing is, as well, you're going to be able to use them at other sites, because I've just gone on to Airsoft Direct to have a look at the Mark V electric maroons. I mean, they're £4.50 each from the looks of it. So two of those, and you've got a pack of blanks.
Yeah.
And you're also looking at the sound output as well. So it's got here the sound output of 5 meters is 108 decibels, which some sites won't let you use as well. I know at the jail you're most likely not to be able to use them because of the sound restrictions he's got in place.
Yeah, exactly.
So
basically that makes them more usable, because you can pretty much just use them anywhere that allows 209 tremors or BFGs, that kind of thing.
Yeah, this is it. You know, it just makes it much more accessible, and I think you're going to see more of these coming out. It'll be interesting to see how it goes when the first batch come out, and how they get on, and just sort of any possible QA issues. Richard Cooper asking what he's missed. I've lost the picture now. Let's just refresh that. So I can show him again, because he's just come on and specifically asked. So it's just a remote blank firing detonator. So it's just a unit and a remote control. Just like that, Richard. So yeah, I played the video as well, by the way, and our Lord and Saviour ended up on the next video because I've been watching Rocket Powered Mohawk, just on a side note. Yeah, can't wait to see these things out there, to be honest with you. In fact, we'll have to remember him, because it might be worth getting him on the show at some point.
Yeah,
sure. Have a chat about these. Secretary, please, can you make a note? I'll watch you. You watch. Someone's going to get out of the up that I've called you secretary, even though that is your official title on the show. Yeah, definitely. Let's have a look through the. Sounds like an orgy going on here in this chat. I've just got into the Instagram chat, and it's just literally everyone just going, "We love Dan. Dan is the best."
That's true. So
He is, to be fair, he is the best. Yeah, someone will get on with that as well now, won't they? Where can you buy one? I believe you can't at the moment.
Can't
it's
at
just
the
on
moment.
The first batch, but there will be more
soon.
coming available soon. I suppose when it's a one-man band as well, he can't do the mass production of them.
No.
It's not like he's got a factory making these things all the time.
I'm sure once the next sort of batch or round, whatever you want to call it, comes out, then we can mention it on the show and let people know. So.
Once we've bought about 10 of them. Yeah, so that's cool. Anything else to add before we move on?
Not on that, no.
Cool. Richard Cooper saying in plain news, I've had 2 days good shooting at Warehouse 1, aka the former department, CQB.
That's recently changed, I believe, hasn't it? And me and
I saw a TikTok of it.
Soon,
is this the one that was at Extreme Airsoft?
Yes.
So it's just is it still under Extreme and they've just changed the name, or is it a new company?
I believe it's new owners, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say I've lost track now because I know it sort of changed a few times.
Yeah, I believe
and
it's
whatnot,
new
and then
owners, but they've changed the layout completely from what I understand. So
yeah,
I'm sure Richard can update us. He's in the comments giving us all the lowdown on this because we've missed this one. And we've got Wellesley and Wendigo saying boom is the best, and I like things that go boom. So if you like things that go boom, go and buy yourself the G&G Leave AR because these have been coming out.
I was waiting for that.
So those who don't know, basically, this came out a few weeks ago. There was a serious design flaw with the G&G Leave AR. Remind me to come back to Chesney's comment in a minute because I want to comment on that actually now he's mentioned it.
Yeah.
So basically what happened, Airsoft World we noticed this on, saying that basically there was a break occurring between the pistol grips and where the gas line that travels through between the gas tank in the pistol grip into the main receiver was breaking, and the Leave ARs were basically exploding on people, like physically exploding by all accounts when they were gassed.
yeah,
So they put out, yeah. I mean, Airsoft World, to be fair to them, because we were at the charity game when this broke, actually, weren't we? Because we were talking about it at South Arts.
yes, I believe so. Yeah.
And that was when we sort of noticed this occurring. So Airsoft World was straight on it on the day, saying, "Yeah, we've been made aware of this. We're trying to resolve it. Just bear with us while we go through it." Like, to be fair to them, that was like exemplary customer service. It was a Sunday. You know, they didn't have to go straight out with it, but they fought for customers straight on. Let's get something out there. It's being dealt with. Just don't use it, basically.
Yeah.
And then it was a few days, really, before we actually heard anything from G&G themselves when they came out with a... Mark say from the 15-inch of Explodey Doom today.
Daniel Chesney is one. G&G Lev Repair R.
Yeah.
That's
Repair.
a little bit.
Was it Lev Reaper? So that was on the 28th of June. So 6 days ago, 28th of July. 6 days ago, so about 4 days after, there was a statement that became public. It was obviously released on the 31st here, but it didn't come to light until the 2nd of August. So G&G made an official statement saying, G&G wants to assure our customers that we are committed to the highest quality standards. As part of our continuing improvement process, we will be reinforcing the grip on the Leave AR model. Owners of the Leave AR with the previous grip design are encouraged to contact G&G dealers worldwide to arrange for a replacement with the reinforced grip. Furthermore, we're coordinating with all of our official distributors to ensure that all stock imported through them will receive the necessary updates. We appreciate the loyalty and support of our customers and partners. For accurate and reliable information, please refer only to G&G's official channels. So that was a statement. Things missing from that. We'll come to Airsoft World putting the main thing out there. So where was the apology for all the customers? Where was the acknowledgement of an issue in the first place? But also, more importantly, as Airsoft World has put in their comment here, where is the safety warning about this product?
Yeah. It's not just, oh, it's an issue and we'll fix it. It's genuine. Like,
yeah,
it could be
it should be like you need to be careful with it, just in case.
Slightly, it'll explode. Like,
if you've got something that's seriously a safety issue, which it will be, because those things are going on. From by all accounts, one of them just fell over and it exploded.
Yeah. Or like, what happens if you just you've come back from a game and you just plonk it down on the table a bit too hard and then it explodes or something.
This is it, I was actually going to buy one of these at some point. I think a couple of the other guys in the team were as well. I'm glad I didn't, because I'd be so pissed off now if that had happened to me. They're not cheap. They're about £400 or £500, aren't they, from memory? So it's not like it's a cheap gun that you'd expect to break. And usually the cheap ones actually are the ones that keep going and going and going.
was going to say they're like indestructible.
Yeah. So yes, £400 it's on Airsoft World at the moment. Richard's saying that he doesn't feel like playing with a literal grenade in his hand. Chesney's saying that he feels the playtest portion of their projects might need to be extended. Well, this is it as well, you know.
Yeah.
The Leaf AR hasn't actually been out to the public that long so far, has it?
No, it's literally been a few weeks, if that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know BZ Fest was like the preview, wasn't it?
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
that. I say that the one they had at BZ that went through a lot of hands. There was like a good old queue to test that thing, and I got to admit, some people weren't gentle with that thing either, which is a bit of a surprise. It broke and didn't break,
Mm.
you know, there.
Yeah. No, it just begs the question: did they reinforce the sample ones? They knew there was an issue, but they were sort of seeing how long they could get away with it and what would actually happen if we went out there and released it. You know, the skeptic in me is
that
like,
one just was all right for a bit, but who knows? Like,
Yeah, one of the lucky ones. I mean, it might be one of those things where, I don't know, 2 out of 10 might have an issue.
yeah, well, this is it. You know, is it an isolated incident and they're just doing all of them as a precaution? You know, was it sort of maybe the end of the run, the production run? Like, if you looked back at the serial numbers of the products that are affected, could it just be like there was a flaw in the mold towards the end of the run? That's if it is molded. I'd assume so. I'd assume it's a plastic receiver if it's gone like that. Yeah, ain't going to be. No. Oh, the old wait and see worked well for COVID. So Richard's saying it's not a QC issue, and the first few were good, and the QC slipped with the production run. Well, there's no excuse though with QC slipping at the end of the day. Working in that sort of background, there is no fucking excuse for it. Yeah, so we'll wait and see. We'll keep people updated on that as it more comes out. Heavily redacted on Instagram saying bring your kids to work day at the G&G factory, maybe. Possibly, yeah. Okay, so...
Maybe they made them all at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
Friday night before Christmas job.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the same people that planned NAF made the Leave AR.
Ooh.
It's their
which brings us on nicely.
attitudes to safety, which brings us nicely on to Dan Chesney. So he's asked the question because I don't think he watched on Tuesday. Is it okay that UCAPU are going to NAF despite the blatant safety concerns, given all the fights they had to secure our fund to have a company risking our hobby? Funnily enough, I did speak to a member of UCAPU. He's no longer the chair. But I did ask him. I have put the feelers out, but I will chase up and get maybe a formal email to UCAPU to try and get a statement forced from them regarding it. I mean, one thing that they did sort of say was obviously with regards, I know the main concern is power limits and whatnot and the legalities around those. It was sort of stated by UCAPU, my contact, that to be at that stage where they're going to be testing the power limits and trying to make out or trying to effectively see if it breaks the law or not, a lot of things would have to go wrong in the first place for you to get to that stage.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure Adam could vouch for with his background.
Yeah.
But even so, it's not worth the risk at the end of the day. So, and as Dan's rightly saying there as well, by going, it feels like an endorsement of dumb fuckery. Yeah, so I will, in the coming days, I'll do an email, formal email to UCAPU to try and get a response, and we'll update you guys all in due course. So bear with us on that one. Maybe I need to just go down the official channels now rather than trying to just go through the back door with it. I'd be interested to hear at the end of the day. I don't know if you watched the other night, Dan, as well, and know everything that's been going on. But yeah, we'll see what we can get out of them because shenanigans. Cool. Anything else to add to the news and discussion before we go? I'm going to crack my cider open.
I don't think so. I'm just giggling at the comments on
Yeah,
Instagram.
so
Yeah,
I think that's what
that is
Dan's
as well,
giggling at. Well,
No, I think-
how much for your bathwater, Dan?
mate, he can just join in. It's a shower.
Jump in.
I suppose that brings us nicely
And
on to
Billy's
you then, Dan.
saying about introducing you to DNC.
Yeah, Billy got me hooked. DNC and gas guns. He's like ruined me pretty much. Like literally, I've known him just over a year, and
I've heard he's a bad influence.
he's such a bad influence. My gameplay's changed. I wear DNC. I fucking love gas guns. It's pretty much it.
Cool. So, I suppose really, like everything, where did it all start for you then, Dan?
Wow, like all good stories, it starts drinking. So I'll keep it short and sweet. My coach at the time, we went out one night and he was like, "Oh, you should play airsoft. You should play airsoft." I'm like, "What the hell's airsoft?" Obviously, he took me through everything. 2 months later, I went and got a kit. We went to Rift Bomb Dump at -10, which sucked. First game, and literally I've been hooked on it ever since.
Yeah, it sucks when it's freezing temperatures playing airsoft, doesn't it? Especially like the bomb dump. It's bomb dump that's on the middle. It's on a middle Wallop airfield.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be cold anyway because you're on a big open space to begin with.
Yeah, because we were driving up, and I was like, oh, it's a bit nippy out there. Car's saying -10. I'm like, bollocks! It's England. There's no way it's -10. Get out there, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, we can't offer tea or coffee because the fire won't light because it's too cold."
Jesus.
That's rough. And you'd be like, "Yeah, I'm getting in the car, going home."
Yeah, right. I'll stop
I
there.
remember it very vividly because stupidly I wore steel toe caps, so I'm just like pacing during the brief, trying to again because I knew nothing. I just had the right protection and a basic riff and stuff like that, and I was like, "Right, let's get playing." And yeah, that day sucked.
Yeah, I think the coldest I've ever done is the jail at -6.
Oof.
But I have played there in the snow as well, and that was not fun as well. Standing on the sports field in that.
Yeah, I've played at the Grange in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's cold, I'm not going out. Sorry, bye. Have fun. See you later.
We'd literally see Ailey sat in the car with the heating on all day. It'd be worth her burning
I'm like,
that
it's great
gallon
in
of
here.
petrol just to. So yeah, obviously that's where you started your airsoft story. So we progressed a few years, and then you have become probably one of the best known photographers out there at the moment. You know, I mean, it seemingly came from nowhere for me as well because like all of a sudden, you heard of the usual names like Krios, for example. I believe a couple of those guys are in the comments tonight or are watching. You heard of like Samwise and that, and then all of a sudden Adam and Ailey uploaded these photos, and I was like, "That's sick! Where did you get those?" And it was yourself. So where did you start? Sort of move from playing into photography?
It kind of just merged. Again, like my coach at the time, he had a YouTube channel while he was still active and stuff like that. He said, "Oh, can you do a couple thumbnails?" And I've been doing photography for years beforehand, obviously different sort of disciplines. And I thought, actually, why don't I just come out in the field? So I used to have to run all my gear. Then I obviously had like a side bag, which I still have now. And I used to have to play, and I'll stop and go, "Oh, hang on, that's a good photo." Take the photo, put it back in the bag, and then carry on playing as normal. So if my bag got hit, obviously counts me out and all that. So kind of progressed from there, and then slowly but surely kind of just rolled to where I am now, really. Just like
cool.
Because I used to be part of Studio 13 at the time.
I was going to say we've had pictures from him as well in the past. So.
Yeah. So there's a group of us. They decided to sort of close, go in a different direction, and because I sort of helped with the airsoft side, I kind of just kept going really.
Decided to carry on, yeah.
And it's kind of basically ended up where I am now, just to go into more sites, meeting new people. Like now, like if I didn't take up airsoft or photography properly, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
In these conversations, and I wouldn't have met half the people I would have met now.
And that's half of it, isn't it?
Heavily
like going out and
redacted,
meeting
just said everybody's
people.
profile pic is Dan's work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Especially since Warzone, I think like the pictures that you took there were amazing.
Oh,
like we had some
those
great ones, some
photos were
individual
fire.
ones from
I'm
you.
actually just opening up your site now so we can do some showcasing of some of your photos. I mean, we discussed it with Samwise. It's very much sort of like photographers almost have like these areas that they focus on with regards to where they're going to take the photos, and like it's sort of almost like a mutual respect almost that you see between you guys. We're not going to try and step on their toes here. So I think the most photographers I've seen in one place at any one point was at Warzone Festival.
Yeah. But everybody has such different styles as well. It's nice to have that like sort of difference between different photographers. So you could take like in theory the exact same picture, but it would be completely different by the time you've edited and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
This is it. You know, we could get 3 or 4 of you photographers together, and they would all look different. The same photo, just for the way you guys do it, the way you style it, all the filters, etc., etc. I'm just trying to find the one because I've got to have a word
And
with
one
you
of
about.
your superpowers is smoke.
Yes, that's one of your sort of specialties, I'd say, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I love working with other photographers as well. So, like, I work with Pete, or Project Airsoft is his tag.
Yeah.
Stuff. Done a little bit with him. Obviously, Hasman, my other half, I've been teaching, and obviously Billy RX22. I'm going to get that variation on. I mean, it's good to work with other photographers because they sometimes point out something I never would have guessed. Like, I went and did a photo shoot with Billy the other day, and we always just bounce off each other, and it's always good because when you get a few photographers together, the ideas just really work well. Like what you think doesn't work actually works, and it just opens your eyes up a little bit more, which is good.
Yeah,
and you're all learning off each other, that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I've always learned ages ago, if you think you've learned everything, then you're basically just going to be stuck. But if you're always progressing, always learning, there's always something to learn somewhere.
This is it. It's the same in any industry you go to. You know, you're always going to be learning something. If you're not learning anything, then you're not doing your job right at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find some. Oh, hang on, I don't know which photo I use. No, I was trying to find a photo, but I've got to show my favourite one because this is quite my favourite photo anyone's got of me at Airsoft recently.
I'm gonna say, I was literally about to say that FRS in the window.
Yeah, literally. So worried about you because I literally had a guy in my crosshair for ages, and I was like, "Dad, please do not step right. Please do not step right."
Like, the thing is that the best airsoft photos are like the danger close ones mid game as well, because everything is like, I like doing like the posy ones and that, but like something like that, like it wasn't posed because otherwise you would be stood dead center in the middle of the barrel.
Yeah.
I was going to say, not long after this photo was taken, because there's Adam in the same area at the other end of the same bit.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even realise you could go on the balcony the other side of that window. I was like, he appeared the other side. I was like, I didn't even know you could go out there.
Don't think I was meant to, but there is like a little ledge there you can get onto.
Yeah, the marshals usually stand up there if anyone's ever been to Warzone, like when you're doing capture the flag.
The thing is, though, like as much as people might say, "Oh, they're posed, etc., etc." No, these were genuine action shots. Because not long after you were taking these photos, Adam went, "They're fucking out the back here," and there was me trying to throw pyros through the windows to get rid of them. I'm literally lobbing grenades out.
Just knelt straight down on the floor, ran out of ammo on my MTW, dropped my MTW, pulled my pistol, and then I'm like, "Andy, they're at the back door."
It was insane, like that entire day, that entire weekend. And I mean, that was the first time really that we'd actually we'd spoken online and it was a nice opportunity to actually meet you in person and get some photos taken with yourself as well. Don't have them to hand with the group shots we did as well to show the smoke. My secretary didn't send them to me.
Asked for them. So.
Oh, hang on.
Mind reader, am I?
Let me get
So,
there.
how did you sort of end up at the sites that you tend to work at? What draws you to those sites? Because it tends to be like the UCAP sites and South Coast that you're at.
Yeah. So obviously ambush. I'll start from the beginning. It'd be a lot easier. So ambush activities is the local site. I could walk in a straight line and I'll be there in 2 minutes if I could jump the train track. So obviously local site. With that, and obviously with Studio 13, obviously we're sort of talking about, oh, should we go do photos at other sites, things like that. And I was like, okay. I thought I was a bit apprehensive on like CQB sites at first because I wasn't experienced in that sort of gameplay, so I knew it was going to be tight and camera equipment would get damaged. So we approached South Coast CQB. Obviously Gary's a really nice guy. Obviously spoke to him, obviously got chatting, and then he gave me a chance, and that worked with that. Lewis, who used to work for Studio 13, he used to do green ops quite a bit. Obviously because they used to sponsor London Ghosts, so obviously that, and obviously when that sort of didn't happen anymore, I started off at the bunker, and then obviously moved on to green ops, and then I'm doing their social at the end of September, so I'll be there for the whole weekend doing that. And then Red Alert was one I've played at a couple times, and I thought, oh, maybe just offer them if they need a photographer or anything, and then like that. Same for Iron Sight as well. Billy does photos there. My uncle actually knows the owner, Paul. They raced together on motocross, so kind of had like a little bit of a insider favor to ask on that one, and it sort of worked out. And all the other sites to sort of cover, I know I've mentioned a thing like Camo was one. G-Man, as he's known on obviously Instagram, he used to run Camo Bournemouth, so sort of just went down there again through Studio 13. Used to do that, and then obviously led to Walton, and then I think just because of popularity and spreading quite far and wide, obviously I've always said to people, as long as the site's happy for me to be there, and obviously I'm not treading on anyone's toes photography wise, I'm always happy to go and travel. Because when I used to sort of do the BMX competitions, I'm just every weekend was like, I'm always about 200-300 miles away from home, so I'm just used to just traveling everywhere. So, and have that mentality now. If someone said like, oh, we got a game on tomorrow, as long as I'm not working or got anything booked, bags are packed and off I go.
I'd just like to say, by the way, on a side note, we've all lost a game because of Josh.
What happened there?
This has been ongoing since Warzone Weekender, I think, hasn't it? Like, it sort of came back about that we're all playing the game, but on a daily basis.
Dan Chesney bringing up a really irrelevant comment with regards to photos, but he really misses Drakelow tunnels. That's not very good for photos, though, Dan, is it? Because you couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
A little bit dark.
It's possible. I mean, I run around UCAT bunker every Wednesday night, and that place can be pitch black sometimes.
I was going to say, because like Iron Sight, I think the first photos we had from you, I remember because we were in the tunnels and you were getting out all sorts of different coloured lights to like do a little shoot with Adam, like when I was stood there, like all the different coloured strobes and stuff like that. And that, I think that's the first game that we sort of met you, actually.
I remember Keith saying, Dan, would you get out of the way? I'm trying to shoot these people through this door. And you're like, yeah, but this light looks really cool at this angle. And I'm like, Dan, fuck off!
I've gotten a lot better with that. I normally sort of just have a look around to make sure I'm not giving anyone away. Because obviously, like, that's the good thing about Amazon. You can have a torch the next day, and if it gets shot out, it's only 10 quid.
Yeah, it's not an O-Light where you're paying 110 quid. I had that on my SIG 226 that I got, my KWA one, and I literally had the torch for a game, and it got shot out and annihilated. And it's not like Vortex where that'd get replaced.
I'll actually answer this one. Daniel Chesney.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So, sorry, just quickly, Dan's asked, where is the best site you've been to that gave you that best natural backdrop?
That's a tough one because each one has their own thing. Like, it's like Tony's put, the bunker's really good for that sort of dark, gritty sort of thing. But then like the woodland ones as well. So like, it's like Camo is quite close to like obviously ground zero. So like sometimes that backdrop works, but it's just each site has its own sort of its own thing, really. There's not one site I like better for a backdrop. It's just because they all have their own different ones. Every CQB environment's doing it. Like Zmart, obviously running around in like an old Debenhams, which is really cool. So it adds to the gritty effect and all the lights and everything. So it's a real tough one to sort of say what's my favorite, because they've all got their own bits, really. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. You know, every site is unique, and there'll be good points and bad points, I'm sure, for yourself. You know, we've actually come across a great little site recently for just possible unique photo locations. You know, especially in the CQB area they've got there. And I've got to give a shout out to South Hearts as well. Oh, that's an update. They raised £1,300 at their charity event, on a side note, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
For a small site. Even if it did end up like Chairsofter winning sort of like 2/3 of the raffle. But yeah, like I was saying, all these sites will have that unique location. You know, you've got those unique areas of the jail that are really good for photos, I'm sure. Especially some of the doorways going into the wings, that you can get some great photos of people stacking up and things like that. That's if people actually play indoors. Otherwise, you're posing it. Like you said, NAF, there's some great, also Ground Zero, there is some great bits of woodland out there to get some decent photos in, different areas, and like even Warzone, you know, you've got that the town to take photos in. So
yeah, that was great location. I really wish I could have taken photos of the night game, just because of like the lights, the smoke, just the atmosphere in general. It was really good. Well, I was having way too much fun playing those night games to go and get my cameras.
I was going to say we were far too drunk to be playing, but we regretted it, and I wish we had actually played that, because I lost track of how many times I heard the words "you dropped your mag" from Adam as people went running past.
It was funny though.
So we've got Tony Harvey saying bunker photos look moody as fuck. It's great. Is that where you did that photo shoot with Billy as well? Was that at the bunker?
The Stay Low Move Fast shoot. Yeah. That was at the bunker. Those ones, the ones on the stairs, ones obviously with that back sort of like yellow backdrop as well. That's all just down there. There's loads more like good shots down there. Like what's his name? Cosplay Pedro. We might have to go back down a little bit. Obviously does like cosplay stuff, and he took wicked shots down there. There's so much down there to take photos with. Yeah, it's great.
It's nice as well when you find that indoor site that you can get those photos at. You can get just the right amount of light. Dan Chesney saying GT road trip to bunker. Is there a site you've not photographed yet that you really want to, from Dan as well?
Or even play at as well.
Yeah.
I know it's like a typical airsoft one, but Chambers looks nuts. If it, obviously the one in Europe.
Yeah.
That looks like a great site. Like UK wise, I think there's a few. I've heard good things about Battle Lakes, sort of Kent direction. That's something.
Is Battle Lakes the one that it used to be UCAP and it's now Gunman Airsoft, I believe?
I think it's under Gunman, I believe.
Yeah. I think it used to be a UCAP site.
Yeah.
But
and then I've heard good things about level 2. There's a couple of guys down here that got up to level 2 all the time. So that
is not sponsored.
That is really like that's on the cards.
It's always amazing. Like, if you're into CQB.
Every time someone mentions level 2, we have to put other CQB sites are available so we don't get.
It's the best. We were there. Weekend just gone. Was it weekend?
Sorry, AD. I've got to interrupt you because I've just realised, we're talking about level 2 and how we're not sponsored and the accusations. And I just noticed it looks like there's something on Adam's desk there.
I think there might be something on Dan's plant pot as well. That's weird,
actually.
Courtesy of the ghost.
We've got to give these a shout out as well because Tony is watching tonight. Yeah, so for those who
But anyway.
know, yeah.
We were there
Tony,
at the
I
weekend.
want some of them, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got
you
all
guys
the,
were at
all
level
the
2.
marks still to.
Yeah,
to
we were
show.
there at the weekend. Epic day at level 2 as always. Like, literally have not got a bad word to say about them.
This was your first time up there since they've changed the site as well, because they've got rid of the arena area at the back, haven't they?
Yes.
Now,
So it's looking.
how does that play now?
It's good. It gets you thinking a bit more because it's not just sort of wide open and you can see one end to the other. So you're having to sort of think about your movements through that bit a little bit more. So you're checking your corners a bit more, and there's some sneaky bits.
Yeah,
so
it's a little bit more like the village rather than being low cover. It's sort of like you do have to check your corners, check your angles and stuff like that. So yeah.
We'll have to organise a road trip, Dan.
Oh, 100%. Like, I know
it's a long way for you as well. So I know you're coming along from down south. So it's a long way for you. It's a long way for me. We'll have to figure out a weekend.
No, that's all right. I mean, like when we all went up to, a bunch of us went up to BZ Fest, we kind of like left the day before. So again, like traveling is not an issue. We just got to sort of get it lined up with work and everything.
Yeah.
And then we'll be straight up.
Let's make the stars align.
Yeah. This is a thing when you're looking at travelling as well. You know, we're looking at coming down to South Coast later in the year, and we'll obviously let you guys know the date once we've got booked on. But yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing, because we all live so far afield. It's nice to actually be able to organise these games where you can meet up with like-minded people and go and fuck shit up. And I couldn't make level 2, and Adam was moody with me about it.
It was my birthday. Well, it was my like pre-birthday shoot.
Yeah, but money, you know. I'm off to Africa in 6 weeks.
Oh, how awful!
Yeah,
sounds terrible.
So, have you got any sort of sites lined up at the moment that you're going to go and shoot?
I'm always shooting at sites. I think like I don't.
Any new ones that you don't normally do?
Not at the moment. I think it's just the same ones. I mean, I'm doing Gloucester Prison again, obviously end of September, so it's not really new. I did one sort of night game there. That was a bit challenging because I got there and they said like, oh yeah, by the way, it's blackout. I'm like, you mean blackout as in no lights? I'm like, sick. All right, we'll make it work. But no, it'd be that one. Yeah, I'm always open to any sites if they're willing to have me. I'm more than happy to travel up, obviously have some fun, and do that.
Have you ever considered, because obviously you do sort of like more studio shoots as well, as we can see with your background, you know, you like the studio photos.
Had a shoot with the ghosts, haven't you? So.
Yep. Do you ever consider maybe reaching out to some of the publications that are out there and doing some photos for those as well? Sort of say Airsoft Action.
To be honest, I've never really thought about that. Like, there's a couple, because I've sort of been through. I have to name drop this now, but obviously where I've been sponsored in other sports before, and obviously now sponsored now, and everything. Like, I've just, instead of sort of chasing the people, it's just easier to wait for people to say like, oh, you ever, like now, for instance, oh, you ever thought about reaching out to them, or oh, by the way, this guy said he likes your work, maybe you should get in contact. So instead of sort of hounding, because obviously there's plenty of photographers out there, you know, hounding them daily, like, oh, I want to work with you, I want to do this, I want to do that, I could offer you this and everything. I'm just quite happy doing my own thing and
going with the flow.
I mean, if, say, you know, again, like sites, people, brands, whatever, if they want to work with me, awesome. If not, I'm just happy doing my thing, really.
Fair one. You know, I mean, we're always happy to meet up with you. If you want to get some photos, we're happy to go and pose for you.
Oh, I mean,
Adam and Ailey always do it.
You should actually play, Andy.
I can't afford to play. Yeah, but I mean, like, definitely, you know, the work speaks for itself at the end of the day, you know. And this is the thing, you know. There's a lot of people that say they do photos at a site, but there's very few that are actually out there producing decent quality content, decent photos. I could probably only name maybe 4 or 5 that you'd think of when you came to, right, okay, we want to say we wanted a photo shoot. Who are we going to approach? Okay, I can name half a dozen at most photographers that we'd actually approach. And obviously your name's up there.
I can't even think of that many. But yeah.
I was trying to think.
It all depends on location as well, though. At the end of the day, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, if we can meet up with Dan, definitely. I mean, you've done a few photo shoots with Adam and Adi, for example, over time, and a lot of their photos are actually from yourself as well. So
yeah,
there's still more to come. I've not even posted like most of them. I've only posted a handful with that. So
got to drip feed these things.
Yeah, I mean, there is one person that has a lot of content, but they never post anything.
I wonder who that might be.
My other half, like she'll hound me for photos and everything, but like you're lucky if you see like one in a month.
I'm the same. I'll post a few photos like in a few days, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I should post a photo, and then I forget about it for weeks, and I'm like, oh yeah, I really should do that.
Do you find that there's players at game sites that will follow you around because you're a photographer rather than actually focusing on the game?
No, I don't think anyone follows me around. Like normally if people, because for me, obviously, again, when I was an airsofter first before becoming a photographer, like I found that obviously, when obviously the site marshal used to go around with the compact and stuff like that, if you weren't with the marshal, I thought, well, when I started the photography bit, I was like, everyone gets a photo, whether you're, that guy with the two-tone first, bit of green first time out, or if you're just a rental, just mixed in with the regulars. I just made sure that everyone gets a photo, no matter what. So I think because I do that, no one follows me or tries to
heavily redacted, just saying he does.
Yeah, I just. But if people say like, "Oh, can you make sure you get a photo of me?" I'll be like, right, I'm gonna get a couple photos of you, and we're done. And then because obviously I find that like everyone should get a photo. Like,
it's not like you're only following your mates or your regulars around. Like you do try and get one of everyone. Yeah,
that's always the game. So like Warzone, I was hot on it because I thought, right, because it's going to be quite similar to NAF. People are going to go and have breakfast or not do this, not do that. So I've got to try and get everyone and memorize like everyone's kit, or like
dog with two dicks, right? Yeah, like.
I mean, you were that good at Warzone though. You got photos of someone who claims that they weren't even there because you somehow managed to get photos of Hulk, and he says he didn't even go to the game.
Yeah,
he's telling everyone that he didn't turn up.
The old international man of mystery, that one.
Yeah, he is. He turns up to a game and then says, "I wasn't actually there." So
it was like the Wickham game and everything. I didn't expect him to see him there, and he just appeared. I'm like,
just popped up.
Yeah, there. He's just there.
It's got a habit of doing that.
Well, the thing is as well, this is a guy that I'd been speaking to him for 6 years. I think Adam, you're probably about the same.
Yeah, at least.
He still went. Our friend Robin, he still used her old Instagram handle of Lady Hawk, and she hasn't gone by that since 2019.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
Yeah. So and then like I've seen him 2-3 times since Warzone. Like we had Warzone first. He went to the UK game. This is a guy that's he's been here since BZ, and that was
maybe he wasn't at level 2 at the weekend as well. So
yeah,
he may or may not have been gunman Airsoft Midlands on the Sunday as well. Like this is the thing though. He's gone from Manchester to Coventry to play a game on a Sunday.
I like his dedication though, because it's like I saw him at BZ, and then I think it was like a month later I saw him at Warzone, and then like a couple of weeks after that he was at obviously the Wickham event as well, and I was like just everywhere.
Well, this is the thing. He's
not shy of traveling.
Someone that no one had ever met, and I think he's been over here for about 2 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Probably.
Yeah. I thought I'd done hardcore going to Philadelphia for a weekend to play a game, and then he's just like gone, hold my beer, and outdone me massively.
Yeah.
I suppose really, what's the future got in store for you, Dan?
Don't really know, to be honest. I just play it by ear. I mean, there's a few. I've got a few projects in the works that are going to be quite interesting when they come out. I've got a few ideas. It's just things I've been sort of chatting to other people about and things like that. Obviously EG, that's going to be quite a big one this year. Going into next year, got a few ideas. We've just been bouncing ideas off each other, and obviously we've just been sharing things and locations. So when that comes out, that's going to be quite an interesting one.
It'll be good to see that.
Well,
EG have been very quiet on the content front in recent years as well, I've noticed. So
there's a few things coming which will be quite interesting. Obviously, outside of Airsoft, I'll talk a little bit about that because people do ask. I do other photography outside Airsoft, but Airsoft is like, my pride and joy almost. Like it's what I live for.
Okay.
But like, well, obviously outside of Airsoft, there's quite a bit going on there as well. So it's just a big ball of just projects at the moment. Which
I was going to say, you very nearly got a call to ask if you did weddings the week before mine because we got messed around 2 weeks before ours by our photographers. I was thinking, who does photos? Who do I know? Right, Airsoft people.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a couple weddings now, which have been, pretty. To be honest, I think as a photographer, I've been quite lucky because every sort of client I've had for weddings have been really chilled out, down to earth. I've always said to them, look, it's going to be stressful.
Yeah.
It may seem like
it's a very different vibe compared to Airsoft, isn't it? So
yeah, I just said to him, it's going to sound like I'm ordering you around. I'm not. I'm just trying to give you the best photos. You scream at me the day after. So
keep it in mind, early.
Yeah. So, what would you say to anyone who wanted to get into photography, be it Airsoft or outside?
Wow.
What advice do you have?
I would say just, be the shutterbug. If you think that looks kind of interesting, just take the photo, experiment with everything. Try not to, put yourself into one thing. Like, if you think, you prefer doing portraits or landscapes, try to break out of that. Try and learn different disciplines because things you're learning in portraits, you can transfer over and stuff. Experiment a little bit more. Obviously, YouTube's your best friend because there's always something on there. I told one photographer, try not to be, don't try and copy someone else's work. Like, let that inspire you and everything.
So, sorry, I was giggling through that. I wasn't laughing at you. It was Wellesley. He's put, if Dan was any more laid back, he'd be a table.
I've been meaning to come to
I just started giggling.
There's a comment on there. I need to get back to it. I've been holding that in for like 20 minutes, but I'll get through this. I was in the fascinating nuts.
We can go to comments and questions at the end.
Dan saying with lenses is bigger better.
To be honest, I go through like a lens change, like most probably every half hour. Because again, it's like thing like with bigger's not always better. If you're a bit shy, you don't want to get hit, you don't want your camera equipment to get shot, then obviously having that sort of 300 to 500 mil is going to be great because you're going to be stood all the way over there and not get shot. But for me, I like running like my 18 to 35 because it puts me right in close. But that's how I managed to get the shot of you up in the White House and get close and personal, get in amongst everyone with the players as well.
I was going to say, I've seen some people years ago when I used to go to air shows quite regularly. You'd see all the photographers there with basically a dustbin stuck to the front of their camera. And you're like, why?
But my only advice would be make sure you've got protectors on, like a lens protector, whether it's a UV one, does any fancy job, just something to protect your lens. And just have fun doing it. The instant it becomes a pain in the ass job or a chore, you're not gonna like photography and it'll just end up collecting dust. So just have fun with it. The instant you're not having fun with something, just put it to one side, have a breather, come back to it.
Unless it's your day job, I can't recommend that because I've considered that, but then I realised I'd have no money.
Yeah, my day job as well is like this is like this is pretty much like another full-time job on top of my actual job.
I was going to say, so you go to a game day, you're there all day, you're taking photos, and then you come home, and then you've got hundreds of, if not like, if you've done a weekend, probably thousands of photos to go through and edit and get them up in. Because obviously, the minute everyone comes home from, where's the photos?
Where's my pictures?
Yeah.
I saw it the other day from a game. I can't remember which site it was, but it was literally not even a day after, and they were like, "When are the photos going up? We were at this site today, and someone took some photos of us." And it might have been Warzone actually. The guy was like, "Oh, someone took some photos of me today. When are they going to be up?" And they're like, "Give them a chance." It's like literally the day after.
Yeah, believe it or not, actually, when was it Friday did the night game, they were actually edited. So I was literally just sat in my tent editing until 2 a.m.
Oh God.
Done them all, shut the laptop. Even the Saturday as well, I'm just obviously hanging out with everyone. I was thinking, well, I'm still pretty awake. Edited all of those.
Yeah.
Pretty much every day they were edited, ready, and then obviously Warzone started releasing them pretty quick after that.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say it wasn't even the week after and they were drip feeding them out, but they had to space it out so much and people getting so irate over that. It's like he took thousands. And they only, I think they only uploaded the ones you took as well, didn't they? I don't think they did.
I haven't checked the feed myself, but I know like Matt Horizon UAV, I know he took quite a few. I've seen some of his work. I can't remember his handle, but the guy that had like the Halo cosplay and everything on.
Oh,
yeah, that.
Yeah, I know the guy you mean.
Airsoft Battalion or something like that. Yeah.
And then obviously I know Project was there. I know he's got some slowly releasing photos. I know he's busier than I am on that. And then I know Sam took a few photos as well. They're already coming out.
Yeah, Wellesley's saying you're dedicated to the cause, but this is one thing, you know, like yourself and a couple of other photographers, they will endeavour to get the photos out as quickly as possible because you know full well that you're just going to be getting harassed anyway.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just all about, because when I was with Studio 13, we, took our time. By like Wednesday, Thursday, no one really wants photos because the weekend's coming again.
Yeah, and they're just going to get some different ones anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so like Monday, for instance, everyone's like, "Ooh, one of those photos are up. They're done." And obviously, again, being a player first, but before being a photographer, we're all guilty of it. You're like Monday, like, "Oh, I wonder if those photos are, or did I make the cut?"
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I am that person. I think we all are on this show.
We're just excited to see the sick pictures, that's all.
Yeah. This is it, though. You just want to see if you actually look sick in them.
Yeah.
There is. Oh, sorry.
No, it's cool. Carry on.
I was going to say, Wellesley put in there way back in the Instagram chat. CQB, it varies when I get shot. If it's like a full moon, it's the first weekend game of the month and everything, I get absolutely peppered. If it's most days, I think I get away with only being shot once, maybe once or twice. But then there's days, I know some people have seen it, I've been full autoed, like head to toe. There's been a number of times where I've had like a barrel of a gun pointed in my face. I've just had to put my hand in the way or smack the barrel down.
Please don't shoot me.
South Hearts have got a question. They're saying, what starter camera would you recommend a site use for pictures because iPhone's crap?
To be honest, you can pick up DSLRs really cheap now from like things like London Camera Exchange, MPB, CEX. If you've got that in your
I was literally about to say CEX.
Yeah. I mean, the start of my, we'll call it that, the start of my career, like my photography career, I bought a Nikon D5200. You can pick one of those up for like 200 quid now, the body. A good little kit lens you can get is like a 70-300 Sigma. I think they go for like 80 quid now. So that's just like a good starter. If you just want a kind of like an everything camera, that's a good way to go. And then you just work on like the lenses, get a better lens and that. And then, but yeah, you can pick up like 5200 for like 200 quid. I'm pretty sure you can get like the better model, which is like the 55 or 56. I'm pretty sure they're only like 400 quid now for a body. They're pretty cheap.
I'm going to say, I remember the days when I was looking at doing some years ago and it was like the setup I wanted. I literally just went, I'm going to go expensive, and it was like $1,000, and I never actually looked at what should I actually get to start. So it's nice to have that advice out there at the end of the day.
I think people automatically assume that more expensive equals better, but that's not always the case.
No, this is it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, or someone outed me before. This was when I was sort of coming into it, and that this was at like a car shoot or anything. So I'd done a couple car shoots previously, and everyone's comparing photos. Like, oh, look at this photo, look at that photo. And obviously, I'm just there with my gear, and he said like, oh, they're talking about like at the time, my mate had a Z9, all singing, all dancing, most probably like 15 grand's worth of kit. His mate had about 10 grand's worth, and they're like, oh, if you really want to see what Dan's got, and like obviously showed the photos, and they're like, oh wow, you must have like serious kit. And then when I bought it out, the guy literally like almost wanted to deck me. He was like, you're taking the piss, that's not your camera. I'm like, no, this is my camera. I've just put all the money into the lens and everything. And that was my 5200, like basic crop sensor, like not even a professional range camera. It was, but the lens was the all singing, all dancing, perfect thing there.
Yeah.
But you don't need good cameras. I mean, some of the best fun I've had was my little Polaroid camera. I've been taking the sights every now and again. That, that's been quite a bit of fun to use as well. Just
I was going to say, that's just like a bit of fun, isn't it? Because you're just like, oh, I'll just take this sort of raw, I guess, in that sense. Like, you just take the photo as it is. There's no sort of editing.
No fancy jiggery pokery.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's never about the kit. It's all down to the thing. Like, you can take a good photo on an iPhone. You just got
to know what to.
Yeah, I was going to say,
and all that sort of thing, isn't it?
Jenny gets the ump because some of the photos I get of the pets, like with my camera, she gets the right ump with me because it's like she can't believe that it's just a phone camera, just because it's there, and they'll cheer Ailey up like a photo like that. And I was just zoomed in a little bit. I've got some great ones at zoos and stuff as well. And it's like, I mean, if you get a good phone as well, you can get a decent enough camera on it at the end of the day.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, it's like someone mentioned in the comments there and everything. Like photography is art and it is perspective. Like what you like isn't what going to be someone else likes or anything like that. That's the one thing I say about anyone doing photography. Just keep doing what you're doing. Like, if someone goes, oh, that's crap, fuck them. They ain't the one taking it, you are. So
one versus like 1,000 or whatever. It's
exactly.
not going to matter in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Tony's put in the Facebook comments.
What's your take on the screenshot wankers?
Always tag your photographer, people.
Oh, I'm a massive believer of like credit where credit's due. Like credit your photographer, credit like that person.
100%.
The screenshot thing, it happens like everywhere. It's not just me. It'd be other photographers. Multiple sports. I mean, I've seen it from. I was going to keep this quiet, but when I used to do the Muay Thai fight shows and everything, half the fighters would have a screenshot of like their photo with the guy's tag in the middle. And even then I was like, just buy the photo, it can't be that much and stuff like that.
This is the thing, if you want the photo, what's a couple of quid?
I was going to say, like, if photographers spent time,
it's like not even a coffee, is it? These days?
Exactly.
This is the thing. It was
take that picture, make you look cool, edit it for you, and you can't even be bothered to pay them a couple of quid for the privilege.
I think it was one of the AI 500 games I went to where they had a photographer there, and it was like the prize for sort of like £8. I had all the photos I wanted. It's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. And you've got some sick photos at the end of the day. Pay the photographers or at least credit them if you're gonna do it with their fucking watermark in the middle of it. At least credit them for fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too fussed because if you start moaning at one and then the other, and it just kind of sucks all the fun out of it because it's almost like you're chasing for it. And just like, if they're going to take a screenshot, they're giving me free advertisement because if they don't credit me, it's just this big old logo saying, oh, that was him.
Yeah.
It's, it's one of those things really. Like, it is what it is, unfortunately, and you know, it's no point in getting butthurt over it. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
This is it. Cool. I think we've pretty much gone through it there. One thing Chesney mentioned earlier that we'd like to just quickly bring up. We forgot to mention in the
AI 500.
Yeah, AI 500 have announced their next site. I can't go, needless to say, because it's at Anzio. Oh well. Anyway, I'm literally just like I'm literally just like Jeremy Clarkson over that. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yes, that happened. But yeah, Dan, thanks for your time, buddy.
That's all right. Thanks for having me on.
Where can people find you?
Well, this weekend you'll find me at Red Alert in the morning, and then I'll be at Zmart in the afternoon.
I'm going to say you're a fucking busy man. I see you some weekends, and it's like, how has he managed to get 3 sites done in a weekend?
Oh, trust me, it is doable. It is just a lot of planning, like, you know, figuring out time to get there, how long to get to the next site, you know, when their lunch break is. So I basically travel between lunch breaks.
Yeah.
So basically, even if I have to cut one short and then the other, I sort of just arrive on time, allow for traffic, and then it is basically get straight to it, like no resting, just straight out. But yeah, if you're on Instagram,
My energy drinks.
but yeah, if you're on Instagram, I'm Dan_Airsoft. I'm more likely shadow banned because I've had difficulty with that recently. So
I think everyone is at the moment.
Yeah,
Instagram and Facebook.
Anything Airsoft related is just
a
big no at the moment, isn't it?
If you see a photo, just follow it. It may go back to me, it may go to someone else, but there you go. But yeah, like, you see me about. Just keep an eye on the stories, because a week before the end of the month, I always post where I'm going to be. You know, if I'm doing special events or anything like that, I will always make it known where I'm going.
That's
cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Other than that, 2 weeks time. We haven't actually got anyone booked for 2 weeks time yet.
Surprise guest.
Yeah, we may just do a panel show. We'll wait and see. Dan could be back to talk shit about Airsoft again. We'll wait and see what happens.
Who knows?
Yeah, I'm always up for coming back on. It's been an absolute pleasure being here. So
no, it's been good to have you on and finally get you on.
If anyone's listening and you did want to come on, then you can always drop one of us a message and we'll see what we can arrange. So
so I think it was the other week when you asked me, like, I could have come on, but I would have literally been in the middle of South Coast CQB, so you would have got like a very live, like, impression in that one.
Other than that, what have we got next game day wise? Probably going to be GAM, isn't it?
GAM weekend for us.
I was meant to be playing this weekend, but I've somehow injured my back. I have no fucking idea how, so I want to try and give that a rest up. Don't. Like, last night, Jenny was like, how have you bruised your back? I'm like, well, that explains why my legs wouldn't work properly on Monday. So yeah, getting old.
Just a quick comment from Beth Airsoft saying Dan and Haswin next time. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get you guys both on.
Do a twins one. He's actually here now. Well, you might as well come and gate crash, because I gate crashed.
Last time, so.
Hi guys.
Hi.
What
have you been up to since you were last on the show?
Yeah, it was with the monastery, and then Dan.
Yeah.
I was like, Dan, come over here.
Been up to much since you were on?
We need to meet with you guys again. For sure.
No, I'm sorry. I was just sat in the other sofa. I am listening, of course, and no, I was just replying to a lot of messages. I
very much appreciate you keeping on top of the responses in the Instagram.
I do that for us, basically.
I was going to say, I've been watching it just go all night. So
just trying to keep Wellesley under control, mainly.
Yeah, I was going to say,
that's a job in itself. So
yeah.
Wellesley cracks me up. He's such a friend.
Sort of Warzone, Bezo. I fucking hilarious. I'm just gutted. I'm missing this weekend. Like this weekend, like everyone's there. It's really annoying.
I know we are as well. Sad times.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
damn!
you
Somebody
know.
had to go and have a birthday, didn't they?
I know, how inconvenient.
You inconsiderate bastard.
Oh,
No, it's good to see you, and we'll definitely have to let you guys know when we're next coming down your way and arrange a meet-up for sure.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I'm going to say we're looking at the South Coast, so we'll let you guys know when we're heading down there. Because it'll be good to actually get a game in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're invite like the monastery guys, like Wellesley's most probably listening in. You got like the locals there as well.
I was going to say we need to keep the date secret before.
Yeah,
We let you guys know. Otherwise,
make sure
I'm never
we'll
get on with the amount of
and
you.
then open it up to everybody else.
I was going to say we've got a date in mind, but we're not going to release it yet because we want to make sure that the guys that we're going with already booked hotels can actually get booked on in the first place before we do anything else.
Totally selfish, obviously.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, because people have already had to book hotels. Because, you know, I mean, luckily Gosport Premier Inn is 6 minutes away from the site. I think I timed it as.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I just have to get from the house to there. That's pretty much it.
I think you go out, turn right, and then you go down past HMS Sultan and you're at the site. It's like literally like that. You literally drive past the military base and you're there.
Yeah, it's not that far. So I think, it does say on the map, like, it's quite close.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
the first time I went, it was some weird little like B&B thing, and there was like a shared bathroom and everything. I was like, nope, never again.
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah, it was grim.
That's a good one.
All right. On that note,
I'll have to do that. South Hurt Airsoft.
South Hearts, yeah, would be good to do a show just for newbies. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be quite an interesting one. Just grab just go through Instagram on the search, just type in Airsoft and go you.
you're doing on the show, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Just go scouring for rentals or whatever and say, would you like to come on our show?
I'll have to get my mate Alex on the show, you know.
Yeah.
He's only played, 3 games? And
he's got a gun now, he's got no excuse.
Yeah, he has got a gun now because I won it on the raffle, so I just gave him my ticket and said, "There, go get your gun," sort of thing.
Nice.
That'll be a funny one. My name's so and so. This is my first game of Airsoft. Then cut to a year later. My name's so and so. This is year 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm way past being able to do a newbie show now. I know, sort of if I started again, what I'd sort of look at kit wise and that. But at the same time, like, I'm always going to buy shiny stuff now. I'm like,
you're just a magpie, really, aren't you?
Yeah.
We all are.
I mean,
that's true.
That's what I'm doing tonight. I'm sorting out my new kit.
Yeah, that's new kit.
I've got like a Faro Concepts. Is it the FCPC? Ranger Green. So
well.
Yeah,
photography gig's not doing too bad, is it, guys?
No, unfortunately, it's a clone to the upset. but it's good because I've been after Ranger Green for a while, so it's going to go with DNC.
Nice.
Nice and
Gotta get that matching kit. So.
All right, to be honest, it goes with the AK. So
it does. It looks really
definitely.
Somebody else has just got themselves an AK, which they're in love with. So.
I want to get Ryan's AK off him because that thing is.
Oh, the War Crime 74.
Yeah, he's literally he used it at Warzone, and it's disgusting. The range was matching my heavily upgraded SRS on a GHK AK, and it's insane. It is actually a war crime owning that thing. I'm not going to lie, it's disgusting.
Don't tell FNO, they'll come and drill a hole in it.
And on that bombshell, I think it's time to end the show. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks to you both for coming on. And I mean, you know where to find the 3 of us by now. And,
if you don't get to
but that's it from us. So take care of each other, enjoy your games, take your hits, don't be a dick, and we'll see you guys.